Hey guys, Wick Gamer here. The kids are in bed, the wife's at work, and it is the perfect time to start a new playthrough. I'm going to be playing through a board game this time. The board game is called Kingdom Death Monster. This is a absolutely amazing game. It is brutal, unfair, but I love every second of it. Um, I've played 5 or 6 campaigns for Kingdom Death and failed miserably at all of them, and I hope to fail again on this one. But I want you guys to watch me fail this time, which should be exciting. So we're going to just dive in. This playthrough, I'm not going to be going over the basic rules. Watching this video, I'm assuming that you know, for the most part, how to play or just want to enjoy the lore of the game. So I've kind of got everything set up. I've got a few cameras going. I've got an old iPhone staring at my ugly mug. I've got another iPhone videoing the board. And I've got a webcam on the table where we can look at cards and rules and stuff like that. So let me set up a couple things and we'll get started. Once upon a time, there was a place of carved stone faces. A man with a lantern lay sleeping a dreamless sleep. The man knew nothing. One day, the man woke up. He rubbed the dried ink caked over his eyes and opened them. Around him, he saw other people stirring, and beyond, a horizon of unbroken darkness. A woman approached the man with the lantern. Her soft hand reached out to him. They had no words. They were a mystery to each other. Suddenly, a monster emerged from the darkness, its eyes wild with hunger. It attacked. The people were no match for the monster. It tore their flesh and crushed their bones between its teeth. Some it devoured whole. Overcome with terror and grief, the man with the lantern collapsed to the ground. Cold stone noses pushed into his side. There was no escape. But the man did not want to die. Desperately grasping at the cold stone faces, he felt a crack and tore at it with all his might. A piece of stone came free. It was sharp and deadly. The man with the lantern scrambled to his feet, his weapon clenched in his fist. He took a deep breath and roared into the darkness. Somewhere in the place of stone faces, nameless men and women stand together. They have nothing but a need to survive and a lantern to light their struggle. Alright guys, evidently setup took a little bit longer than I had planned because it's now the next day. As you'll see in a second, I have a different shirt on. It is a brand new day, but let's face this white lion that we've encountered just after waking up. Ink in our eyes for some reason, no language, but here we are, 4 survivors facing insurmountable odds against a lion that we'll later find out is actually not even that tough of a lion. So I have been struggling a little bit with what to name my characters. Usually you have some sort of theme like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or something like that, but I decided it would be kind of cool to just name them by the number of when they joined the settlement. So I'm going to do that. It'll be kind of cool because maybe when we reach the very end, one will still be alive after all of this time, and we'll be able to celebrate that. And so it'll be easier to keep track of that. And it's just easier to keep track of. I don't have to come up with names. I can just put the next number in. And there's plenty of numbers to go around, right? So I've named our 4 starting survivors, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2 are male, 3 and 4 are female. I've also put little notations on each survivor sheet just to remind me which miniature corresponds to which character. So MD is male down, male with his arms down, male with arms up, female arm down, female arm up. Okay, just want to put those out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one's going to be our monster controller. And then I'm also, for survival, I'm using these little gold pieces from Tomb of Annihilation board game. So that will help us keep track of survival. And I actually have little tokens that I'm printing up right now, actually, you might be able to hear it in the background, of little tokens that will remind me of which character has used dash and which one has surged. So just a helpful reminder. There's a lot of things to keep track of in this game. So let's shuffle up our hit location and our AI deck. The Prologue White Lion always has Claw on top, and then it's got a custom deck built for the Prologue White Lion. So I think that's sufficiently mixed up. We'll put our Claw on top, set it on the AI deck. And then same with hit location, Strange Hand, which since we already know what Strange Hand is, I'll explain it real quick. It's going to be on the top, and there's a crit on this card that says you hack off the monster's hand, spend 1 survival to treasure this moment, and gain +1 permanent strength, which is huge at the very start of the game. So we're going to be gaming the system a little bit by using a founding stone on one of our characters to gain this +1 permanent strength. So I think that's a common strategy with people that play Kingdom Death quite a bit. And I'm sorry, I get this in camera while I'm shuffling. So we're gonna use that as well. So Strange Hand goes on top. Hit location here. Okay. So we, as with all Kingdom Death showdowns, or most anyways, the monster goes first. So let's start out by drawing for the White Lion. We know that this one's already going to be Claw. So yep, as we guessed, it's Claw. Pick a target, closest threat facing in range. All the characters fall under that category, so we get to pick because it doesn't say random. So we are going to pick actually the character that is the monster controller so that we can get that +1 insanity. So we're going to attack character 1, which is male arm down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've set up my characters in kind of a standard formation. I'll probably use this formation quite a bit when fighting. I felt it works pretty well. These characters are away from the monster when it attacks, and it always attacks the front people, so I'll probably put my tanks up front and whatever ranged or auxiliary characters on the sides. So you'll probably get used to seeing that setup. Okay. And then it's a speed 2, accuracy 2+ for 1 damage. So we're looking for 2+. 5 and a 10, so that's 2 hits. And it's the waist and the body. So I think I'm going to use a survival to dodge the chest location, and then he'll take 1 damage to the body. Or the waist, I'm sorry. So we'll take away 1 armor point from his waist location. Alright, and that's the end of that AI card. So we'll discard it, and now it's our turn. So, we have to pick who we want to get that +1 permanent strength. I was kind of thinking of 1, but obviously that's not going to work because he doesn't have a survival now. So let's just do 2. 2's off on the side, so he's going to throw his founding stone, automatic hit, automatic crit. So we'll put an AI card in the wound stack, and then we'll draw a hit location, which is the Strange Hand. We don't have to worry about the failure. We're critting, so you hack off the monster's hand as we move. Spend 1 survival to treasure this moment and gain +1 permanent strength. And it also has a persistent injury called Lost Hand, which affects some AI cards. So we'll put this to the side to remind us just in case. We'll spend a survival for number 2, or for 2, and then we will add +1 strength. Great. Alright, so that's his turn. I'm going to flip over my character sheets. It's kind of just a reminder for me that survivor has gone, so I don't get confused about who's gone and who's not. It's just a habit I'm trying to get into that'll help remind me. So 2 is done. We're going to either do, let's see here, so 3 is here, 4 is here, and 1 is here. So we're going to move 1 around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's always a bad idea to stay right in front of the White Lion, so we're going to get those guys out of the way first. We're going to attack with 1 with the Founding Stone, which is speed 2, hits on a 7+ normally, but we're in the blind spot, so that's a 6+. 3 and a 4. 2 misses. All right. So one turn is done. So we're gonna do 4 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's gonna come around and she's gonna do the same thing. Attack with her founding stone. 6 plus to hit. A 9 and a 1. So that's 1 hit. Let's see. The fleshy gut. There's a failure reflex if we fail to hit. So let's see what happens. The toughness of the white lion is a little bit less than the level 1 white lion, if I remember right. Yep, toughness 6 instead of toughness 8. The strength on the founding stone is 1, so that means we hit on a 5 plus. And that's way cocked. 4, so we miss. Failure reaction. The white lion swats back. Perform basic action targeting the attacker. Perfect. All right, so that was. Let's see, that was 4. Sorry. See it? Good reminder. So it turns to face 4, and it does the basic action, which is speed 2, accuracy 2 plus for 1 damage. So 2 plus. 7 and a 2, that's 2 hits. Both of them to the arm, so that's 2 damage, so that would give her a heavy on the arm, so she's going to spend a survival. And just 1 light wound. You know what? I can't do that. I take that back. Because we cannot use survival when the survival is attacking. That was one of the rules I missed last time, and I promised myself I wouldn't forget it. And I did, almost anyway. So I'll take my survival back. That makes it a heavy injury on the arms, so she gets knocked down. So she'll stand up at the end of the white lion's next turn. So we'll flip her over. And now the only person left is 3. So she's going to come in here. She's going to attack with her founding stone. Speed 2 hits on a 7 plus because she's not in the blind spot. Oh, actually, we could make her in the blind spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, so 6 plus now. 7 and an 8, that's 2 hits. 2 hit locations. Let's put the basic action card back. All right. The beast's back, which is a full move forward on failure, and the beast's ear, which is it jumps back on a failure. Both of those are very, very bad for our characters, our survivors. So let's hope. We don't want grab because that's 1 damage, so we're going to do this one first. So if we miss, the white lion will jump backwards, jump into these guys. They'll suffer knockback, and then that's better than taking damage. So we're going to do the beast's ear first. So we're going to hit on a 5 plus, a 2. Of course we miss. That would be just how it is. So this is a failure action. This is going to be out of range, so this is going to go away. We're not going to be able to hit now, so we're going to move 1 space directly away from the attacker. Cancel all unresolved hits now out of range. Okay, the white line jumps forward. They suffer knocked back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. On it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and are knocked dead. So both of these will still stand up at the end of the lion's turn. Okay, so that was our survivor's turn. We had 1 hit, and we had to use a founding stone for that, so great start. Lion's turn. Maul. This one's in advance, that's great. Victim of grab last round. Okay, none. Closest knockdown survivor in range. Alright, so that's these 2. That's 1 and 4. 1's already, sorry, 4's already taken damage, so we're going to attack 1. So we're going to move forward here, and we're going to attack 1. Speed 2, accuracy 2 plus, and 3 damage. This one's ruthless, and we're going to get a bleed token if we hit as well, which that's probably a pretty good chance. So let's see. 7 and a 4. That's 2 hits. I forgot to move the monster controller, so it doesn't really matter, but 2 hits. The head, oh no, and the arm. Okay, so that's 3 damage. So the head's going to be a severe, and the arm is going to be a severe as well. So that's 2 severe injuries. Perfect. So it's time to, we're not done with this card. Actually, let's just resolve the rest of it real quick. The target gains 1 bleed token and bash. The target is knocked down. So let's go ahead and grab a bleed token. Put that on 1. And then let's resolve the severe injury. Okay. So let's do the arms first, because the arm is less horrible. A 4. So dismembered arm. Great. Super great. Lose 1 arm. So I'm going to put dismembered arm. You can no longer activate 2-handed weapons. The injury is permanent. It can be recorded twice. The survivor with 2 dismembered arms, severe injuries, cannot activate any weapons. Gain 1 bleed token. All right, so we're going to gain 1 more bleed token. Maybe I should get things out. So 1 has 2 bleed tokens now, and now no 2-handed. Okay. All right. So that's the hand or arm severe injury. Let's roll for the head now. That's super cocked. 5. Okay. 5 for the head. Intracranial hemorrhage. You can no longer use or gain survival. That's great. That's super great. We'll just do int hemorrhage. No survival. Okay, the injury is permanent and can be recorded once. And can be recorded once. Gain 1 bleed token. All right. Great. We almost killed the character by bleed out alone, but perfect. Okay. All right. So that's that. We might need this, so maybe we'll put. We're just gonna put that right there, just in case, guys. Just in case. All right. So Maul is done. We're gonna discard it, and that's the White Lion's turn, right? Not too bad. Okay, so that's the end of the monster's turn. Normally, when they suffer a heavy injury, would be knocked down. The rules state that if a knockdown survivor cannot be knocked down again, so if I'm reading that right, that means that both 1 and 4 still get up at the end of the this monster turn, not the next one, because they don't get knocked down again. So if I'm wrong, put it in the comments, throw me your hate, and we'll go from there. So let's see, I'm tempted to leave 1 right in front, because 4, I mean, 1 is almost worthless. You know, I don't foresee using him later on in the game, but yeah, let's do that. So we're going to do 4 first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's going to come around. Speed 2 with her Founding Stone, hits on a 6+. 9 and a 6, so that's 2 hits. Alright, the Beast Tricep and the Straining Neck. So we're obviously going to do Straining Neck first because there's no reflex. So we're going to hit on a 5+. 6, that's a hit. Alright. Hopefully this is the start of a trend. Nothing happens, there's no crit, so we'll just do that. Alright, next one. This is a reflex of failure, perform a basic action if we miss. So let's try to not miss. 9. Great. So let's discard it. Put another wound in the wound stack. And that was a good round. 4. So she's done. And now 1 is going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to come around. He's going to attack twice with his Founding Stone, hitting on a 6+. A 3 and a 1. He's feeling really bad. After taking all that bleed and suffering a dismembered arm, he's kind of just hacking away. He's pretty scared right now. So he misses both times. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can come in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's out of range. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's come in here with 2, and we will see what he can do. He doesn't have a Founding Stone anymore, so he's going to be attacking with Fist and Tooth. So that's speed 2, hits on an 8+. So let's see what's going on here. It's a 6 and a 1, so 2 misses for 2. That's his turn. And then 3, she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's just going to come right here. So she'll be in range for next round. Okay, so that's the end of the survivor's turn. We're going to move the monster controller to 3 now. And let's draw an AI card and see what horrors we have to face next. Chomp. Closest threat, facing, in range. So facing is all over here, which is none. Closest threat in field of view. So it's this one or this one because they're in the blind spot. So 2 is going to get attacked. So turn, speed 2, accuracy 2+. And this always hits the head location. There's a no jaw persistent injury, and we're missing the lost hand. So we don't have that. So we have a speed 1, hits on a 2+. For 1 damage to the head. That is miss. 5, so that's a hit. It always hits the head. So that's 1 heavy injury to the head, so he gets knocked down. Alright. That resolves this AI card. That's the end. So it's our survivor's turns again. So he'll get up after the next White Lion's turn. So we're going to go ahead and flip him over. Let's send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's send her in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's going to attack with her Founding Stone. This is 3. We're going to attack with a Founding Stone, hitting on a 6+. Perfect hit and a 7. Okay, so that's 2 hits. Perfect hit doesn't mean anything right now with Founding Stone, so it's just 2 hits. The Beast Elbow, which is a failure to run forward, and then the Beast Heel with no reflex, so we're going to do the Beast Heel first. We're going to hit on a 5 or more. A 7, that's a hit. All right. Put a wound in the wound stack. This gets resolved. And then the Beast Elbow. Let's hope we don't fail on this one. A 9, great. And she wasn't doing with Fist and Tooth, so no +1 luck, so this gets resolved. Another hit to the wound stack. We got to shuffle the AI deck. We have 3 cards left, so we have 4 more wounds left to go. Okay, so 3's turn is done. Let's see. Let's do 1 next. So he's going to come around. He's going to attack with his Founding Stone. Speed 2 hits on a 6+. That's cocked. 6, that's 1 hit. Alright. Beast's Flank. So I kind of hope he doesn't get wounded because he's already looking pretty bad, and if we do wound, we gain the priority target token. But a wound's a wound, so we'll see what happens. He wounds on a 5. A 6, so that's a wound. But he gains the priority target token. Right there. Okay, that's resolved. 1's turn is over. One's looking a little scared right now. He doesn't feel really good about his prospects in the future. So 4 is the next. She's just going to move. She's going to just stay right there, and she might actually back up a little bit after attacking. So she's going to attack with her Founding Stone. Speed 2 hits on a 7+. Ooh, a 9 and a 10. I wish I was doing that for wounds. So 2 hits. Oh. Oh, the trap card. Alright, the attacker is caught in the White Lion's roost and is savagely mauled. The attacker is doomed. Perform basic action targeting the attacker. So, move. The White Lion turns, and we are doomed, so there's no using survival to dodge these. And the basic action is speed 2, hits on a 2+ for 1 damage. 9 and a 10. Man, I'm rolling really good for the monsters. So that's 2 hits. The head and the body. So she takes a heavy injury to the head and a light injury to the body, so she's knocked down. Whoop. Okay. And that's it. So basic action goes back. Let's shuffle the hit location deck again, since the trap came up. Oops. Totally just looked at the bottom card. Get it all shuffled up. Okay. Location's back. Alright, so that's the end of the survivor's turn. Flip all these over. Monster controller moves to 4 now, but 1's going to be our priority target. So, so both of these characters should stand up at the end of the lion's turn here. All right, AI, claw, closest threat facing in range, which is the priority target. It's going to turn, move and attack. Speed 2, hits on a 2+ for 1 damage. 1 is cringing right now. 1 and a 10, so only 1 hit. We'll take it. To the head, of course. So he already has a heavy injury to the head, so that's a critical injury to the head. So this card's going to be resolved, so we'll go ahead and put it out. And good thing I bookmarked the severe injury table. The head. So let's roll, see what happens. Oh, no. Oh, I know what a 1 is. I've played enough Kingdom Death to know what a 1 is on the critical injury table. Head explosion. Your head erupts in a shower of gore, killing you instantly. All other survivors are so disturbed that they lose 1 survival. So we get rid of these survivals. 1 is dead. Oh, goodbye 1. You had so much to live for, and yet you didn't. So, bummer. Okay, well, that's how Kingdom Death goes, guys. I was hoping for a cleaner Prologue White Lion, but that's how it goes. Alright, so it's the end of the White Lion's turn. Both of our knockdown survivors stand up, and it's our turn. So let's see. We're going to move 3 first because she's right in front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's going to come around. She's going to attack with her Founding Stone for a 6+, a 9 and a 5. So that's 1 hit. To the beast's chest. There's a failure where it runs forward, and so it's a good thing we moved out of the way. So we're going to get hit on a 5 or more. Oh, crit! Yeah. Alright, so 1 wound on the wound stack. Critical wound. Cancel reactions on this card. You strike the White Lion's stout heart. Gain 1 random White Lion resource. Roll a d10. If the result is 10, the White Lion dies instantly. So let's get our resource first here. It would be awesome. It would be an awesome time for a 10 right now. Okay, let's see what we got. We got a lion claw. There's bad glare on that. So we're going to give the white lion claw to 3. And then we're going to roll a d10. The 10's used on this guy, so we're going to pick a different one. 5. Okay, well, no dead white lion, but we're almost there. We have 1 card on the AI stack, in the AI deck, I'm sorry. And 3 is done. And we've got a white lion resource. It's a good start, right? Right. Okay, so we're going to do male arm up next. We're going to do 2. He's fighting with fist and tooth, so he hits on an 8+, blind spot 7+, 1 and a 6, so 2 misses. He's actually going to move 1, 2, 3, and then that's going to give space for 4 to come in. So 2 is down. She's going to attack with her Founding Stone, hitting on a 6+, 2 and a 4, 2 misses, swing and a miss. Okay, the end of our survivor's turn. So now the White Lion's turn. He's going to draw his only AI card, which I'm hoping is a basic and not an advanced. A basic. Okay, closest threat facing in field of view. There's none facing. closest threat in field of view, which is 2. So we're going to move and attack. 1, 2, 3. Yes, technically, if we wanted to, we could be extra mean. We could run through our 2 other survivors, but I can imagine the white line turning and swinging around and not seeing those 2. So I think that's fine. So it's going to attack. Speed 2 hits on a 2+. A 2 and a 2. I wish we had one single evasion. That would have been 2 misses. But 1 damage to the head and the body. So the head, there's already a heavy. The body takes a light. So we're going to take a severe injury to the head. This card is going to be resolved, so we'll put it back on the AI deck. Get that severe injury. Table back out again. All right, to the head. Not a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4. A 9. Okay, that's not bad. Shattered jaw. You drink your meat through a straw. You can no longer consume or be affected by events requiring you to consume. You can no longer encourage. This injury is permanent and can be recorded once. Gain 1 bleeding token. All right. 2 gains of bleeding token, and he now has a shattered jaw. Can't consume. And can't encourage. So I'm going to just X the encourage out and gain the bleeding token. Alright, not the worst that could happen, not the best that could happen, but that's the way it crumbles, I guess. Okay, so I don't remember if I moved. I think I should have moved the monster controller, so he would have gained an insanity. But yeah, we'll just go with that. I might have missed another round. I'm horrible at moving the monster controller card, so call me out whenever this happens. But, okay, it's our turn now. We're obviously going to move 2 first to not in front of the white line. Come around back, attack with fist and tooth, 7+ to hit, 2 and a 1. He's feeling bad after getting, oh, I'm sorry, he would not go. We'll just use those for the next attack. He was knocked down because of his severe injury. Bummer. Okay, well, we know that the next 2 are going to be a miss, so we're just going to move her around. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to swing. 1 and a 2, we miss. Okay. So now 3 is going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to roll and hopefully hit. We're going to hit on a 6+. That's cocked. A 5. So 2 misses. We're really the white line is debilitating our survivors. They're just really discouraged, so they can't seem to hit now. The monster controller is going to move to 3 now, and it's the monster's turn. So 2 will stand up after this round. We already know what this is. Claw, closest threat facing in range. So there's no threat because it's 2 is knocked down, and 3 and 4 are in the blind spot. Closest threat in field of view. There's no threats in the field of view, so that's good. So we got a sniff. Let's look up what sniff is real quick. Sniff is the white line sniffs the air and ends its turn. Until the end of the next round, all survivors are now threats, despite any effects that say otherwise. When a level 3 white line performs, we don't care because it's not a level 3 white line. So it's going to sniff, and now everybody's a threat. That's not bad. This goes back on the AI deck, and it's now our turn. So 2 stands up. 2's going to just move around to the side and attack. Fist and tooth hits on an 8+. A 5 and a 7. 2 misses. Okay? So 2 is done. Come on, girls, let's finish this. 3 is going to attack with the founding stone, being on a 6+. 5 and a 4. 2 more misses. Great. And 4 is going to attack with her founding stone. It's on a 6+. 6 and a 7. There we go. We can finish it here if we get 2 hits. Just no trap. Alright, Beast Temple and the Beast Scapular Deltoid. So this is a failure where it runs forward, and this is a failure where we perform basic actions. So we're going to do the Beast Temple. We hit on a 5, so let's see what we can do. A 3. Awesome. So we missed. So we turn, and 4 gets it. The basic action is speed 2, hits on a 2+. So this is going to be resolved. Hits on a 2+, a 1, and a cock. A 6. So that's 1 hit. To the head. Of course it's to the head, because why not? 4 already has a heavy injury to the head, so she's going to take a severe injury. That's this one, so she's going to fall down. And we're going to roll on the severe injury table yet again. So she's going to knock down, so this card's going to go away. It's not going to resolve. All right. We are doing a lot of head injuries this time. It's not funny. Okay. 5. 1 more than I needed to keep her alive. Because 1 through 4 are death. Intracranial hemorrhage. You can no longer use or gain any survival. This injury is permanent and can be recorded once. Gain 1 bleed token. Alright. 4 gets a bleed token and an intracranial hemorrhage. Hemorrhage. No survival. Alright, so we're going to check off cannot spend survival here. Was there anything else? User gain survival. Can be recorded once. Gain 1 bleed token. Okay, great. So that's the end. No, that is all of our turns now, right? Yep. Because 4 was the last one to go. So now the monster controller moves to 4, and we draw from the 1 AI card that we have. We can't seem to get rid of. Closest threat facing in range. The closest threat is going to be 3. So speed 2, accuracy 2+, for 1 damage. A 7 and a 3. 2 hits. Please not the head. Please not the head. Alright, the waist and the arm. So she has 1 armor in the waist, so we'll take that away. And she suffers a light wound to the arm. Alright, that's the end of claw, so we'll put that back. And it's our turn again. So she does not stand up yet. She stands up at the end of the next White Lion's turn, right? When was she knocked down? She was knocked down when she drew that card. It did a basic action. So it's the end of her turn, of the White Lion's next turn. So yeah, she would stand up. Great. I think 3 is going to move around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then she's going to attack for the Founding Stone. It's on a 6+. 6 and an 8. 2 hits. We can do this yet again. If we can just not get a trap. Alright, wound, priority target token, and a reflex full move forward. So we're going to do the beast's flank first. We're going to hit on a 5 or more. A 3, so that's a miss. So nothing happens because it's only on a wound. Great. Now the beast's tail. A crit. Perfect. Alright, so we got rid of the last AI card, so we have to just do 1 more wound to kill it. So we cancel reactions. Reflexes on this, and the White Lion's tail is destroyed, ruining its finely tuned balance. The White Lion gains -1 accuracy token and gain 1 lion tail White Lion resource. So let's look through for the lion tail, and there it is right there. Perfect. So let's give the lion tail to 3. She seems to be the resource gatherer, -1 accuracy token. So let's go. Alright, so -1 accuracy. Hopefully I remember. And then that is resolved. Perfect. Okay, so 3 is done. We are going to, let's see, she can't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She can't move all the way around. So I think just to play it safe, we're going to just move it to the side here. And we're going to attack with her Founding Stone. So this is 4. We're attacking. 8 and a 9, that's 2 hits. Only 1, that's okay. Just as long as it's not the trap. The beast's ear, which is the lioness jumps back. and the beast's rib, which you gain +3 understanding if you wound. So we're going to do the beast's rib, +3 understanding. None of us have that right now, so let's see if we can get a 5+ to kill our Prologue White Lion. 5, exactly what we needed. All right, so we don't have +3 understanding, so that resolved, and we've made it, guys. We've beat the Prologue White Lion. We have 1 death on our hands, which I was hoping to keep all of them in, but what are you going to do? All right, let's set up the settlement phase, and I'll be right back. Thanks, guys. Okay, I've got everything set up. I've made some decisions beforehand just to make the recording go a little faster, but let's get into it. So the survivors are victorious. I've healed all of their injuries. I've given them a hunt XP, except for the dead character, which we'll deal with in a little bit. We'll find out what we want to do with him. But I'm going to do this a little bit out of order just because I feel like it fits more thematically to do this first. I'm going to do first day. So let's read that. The survivors wander, drawn to a blooming light in the distance. They find the serene comfort of a towering pile of lanterns and a small collection of scared people. In a deep, instinctual level, they know this area is safe, and they make it their home. Roll a d10 to determine your starting population and record the result on the back of the settlement record sheet. Choose and record genders for unnamed survivors. You may name an unnamed survivor and create their survivor record sheet at any time during the settlement phase. Okay, so we're gonna roll a d10 and see how many starting survivors we have that we've came across at the we'll find out is the Lantern Horde. A 6, so we get 8 unnamed survivors. Okay, so I printed out. This is not a standard settlement sheet. This is a custom one. I really like it because there's places for resources, plenty of places for population. It just seems a little bit more put together. So we have our starting survivors. 1 is dead, so we're going to go 2, 3, 4, and then we have 8 more. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12 total. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we know 2 is a male, 3 and 4 are females. And let's just do 2 males, and then a female, a male, a female, a male, female, male. We'll just kind of spread it out here, just to be sure. Okay, so we now have a starting population of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, all right, so now the first day is over. We're going to go to returning survivors. Oh, one second before we get into that, let's name our settlement. I've been thinking about this. I wanted to name it like home or safety or something, but I feel like my survivors would reject that this cold, dark place is not their home. It's a place that they're just staying at for now until they find their way back to where this safety is, this thing that their heart is yearning for. So let's call the settlement Not Home, and then we will. I think the survivors eventually end up calling it, rather than Not Home, it turns into Not Home. So all right. So the survivor limit is 1. Our starting survivors, I've already added. They gain +1 survival, except for this one because they can't gain survival. All right, now we can go to returning survivors. So nominate a survivor to utter the first words. So we're going to do one of the starting survivors. He has +1 strength, but he has a shattered jaw, so I think that it'd be bad for him to utter the first word. So 2 is out. So is there 3 or 4? I think 3 is going to do it because 4 is pretty beat up. So 3 is going to utter the first words. The nominated survivor steps forward and gains +1 courage. They lead the other survivors in learning to speak to one another. They discuss their situation, realizing that they must hunt to live. Add the white line to the query list on the settlement record sheet. Your settlement gains the language innovation. All right, pulled that out already. Language, survival limit is +1. So our survival limit was 1 before, and now it becomes 2. Awesome. Search the innovation cards for language and place it face up on your play area and record it in your settlement sheet. So we are going to record that. Where does it get recorded on this one? Innovations right here, and it's already written down. Language. Perfect. Okay. Language is your first innovation, and it will spark the creation of the innovation deck. So build the innovation deck. The innovation deck represents the potential cultural and technological growth of your settlement. It will grow throughout the campaign as you gain new innovation cards. Find the 6 innovation cards with language consequences listed under their title. So that's ammonia, drums, hovel, inner lantern, paint, and symposium. So I pulled all those out. So that's the beginning of our innovation deck. We'll shuffle the cards, but we'll shuffle them again if we ever draw them, which won't be this settlement phase, but that's okay. Okay. The innovation deck is persistent. Make sure to preserve the unique combination of cards in your deck between play sessions. Finishing their work, the settlement gathers around its glowing center. Armed with language, the nominated survivor aptly names the glowing center of their home the Lantern Horde. The settlement gains the Lantern Horde settlement location. Search the large settlement location cards for the Lantern Horde and place it face up in your play area. That's this right here. And the nominated survivor sits in front of the Lantern Horde in awe and gains +1 understanding. All right. They must skip the next hunt phase as they ponder the meaning of existence. We're going to mark skip the next hunt phase. They cannot be selected as the departing survivor for this phase. Return to the first story to complete the settlement phase. All right. So we're going to turn it back here. All right, and it's been a while since I've done the initial setup, so I'm just going to kind of run through it. So the survivors return. We already healed all of their injuries, and we gained endeavors. Since we had 3 returning survivors, we gained 3 endeavors. And I already know what we're going to use for those 3 endeavors, but we'll get to that in a minute. Update the timeline. So we are on Lantern Year 1 coming up here. We're going to do the returning survivors, which we already did, and then that's that for that. Update the timeline. Settlement event first day, we did that. Trigger story events for returning survivors, that's done. Update the death count. Okay, so our death count is here. So we fill in 1, and now we have to do the principal death. So we'll move these out of the way, and let's see, principal death. I've got it marked off here. Okay, that's a gruesome picture. The group must decide what to do with the first survivor corpse. Choose one, the first harvest or the first grave. Our settlement has to decide if we are going to honor our dead or view them as something that we can gain resources and help us survive. So I pulled the innovation cards for cannibalizing graves. So cannibalize, our survival limit goes +1. When a survivor dies, draw 1 basic resource and add it to the settlement storage. Do not gain a resource if the survivor is lost, ceases to exist, or is exiled. So that's good. That gives us extra resources, and also our survival limit goes up 1. Okay. Graves. All new survivors gain +1 understanding. When a survivor dies during the hunt or the showdown phase, we gain two I'm drawing a blank. Two of these guys, endeavors. And then when a survivor dies during the settlement phase, we gain one endeavor. I've played both. I kind of like Cannibalize. I think that our survivors are so desperate for survival that that they will do anything to stay alive, and if that means harvesting the dead, then so be it. So we are going to increase our survival limit by 1 to 3 now, which is great. And we're going to do this first harvest. The settlement decides to harvest the body for resources. The settlement gains death principle Cannibalize. Find and place the card. Got it. After adding the card to the settlement, roll 1d10. So let's do that now. A 5. The settlement ritualistically divides the corpse with a sharp stone and grimly consumes the dead flesh. Gain a founding stone starting gear, which we already used one, so that's great. All departing survivors gain +3 insanity. So let's, I think we can, once +3 insanity. We'll add that right there. And then we gain a founding stone. So let me grab that real quick. Cool. Okay. All right, so let's set that to the side. We've done Principle of Death. We're going to do Cannibalize. Perfect. Okay. So now that's done. So now let's turn back here. We've updated the death count. Check for milestones. We did Principle Death right there. Develop. So we can now develop. And then we're going to develop, craft gear, and then we prepare our starting survivors. So the rest of this is pretty straightforward, so we'll get the rule book out of the way. And so we only have 3 endeavors because we only had 3 returning survivors. And so we're going to obviously use these 3 endeavors to build the bonesmith, the skinnery, and the organ grinder. So spent. So that's the lantern horde. We've done the bonesmith, the organ grinder, and the skinnery. So now it's time to craft. Oh, guys, this has worked out better than I could have imagined it. I was looking through what resources I had, and man, it could not have worked out better. So I'm going to explain to you what I have. I'm going to try to use as much resources as I can at this point to get weapons and armor, just to give my survivors just a little bit of an advantage. So I'm going to use the lion claw to build a bone blade. And then I'm going to use another lion claw to do the bone darts. That's going to give us a little bit of range, just in case we need it. And then once we defeat the level 1 white lion, that'll give us Caterium, and we'll try to go for that bow. Then we're going to use a great cat bone and a monster organ to build the bone axe. So that's 3 weapons for us. So that's a really awesome start. That's a great start. But best of all, guys, we are going to look at the skinnery. To complete the rawhide armor set, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hide. Well, guys, white lion fur, white lion tail, white monster hide, and the shimmering mane is 2 basic hide resources. That gives us 5 hide, so we can build a complete rawhide armor set, and that gives us the bonus of +1 hit all hit locations, and we can roll a d10 when we use a survival, and if we get a 6+, we gain that survival back. That's huge at the beginning of the game, because we desperately need that survival. So really, I mean, the only 2 resources that I didn't use are the whatever we want card. I thought that would be a great to keep for next round, just in case we need one thing to gain something that we want to build later, and then the broken lantern scrap. So we're going to add those 2 to our settlement storage, and I think at this point the settlement phase is over. I think we had a great perfect, almost perfect. If one wouldn't have died, we would have had the perfect first prologue. I think that's it. We're gonna end this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And we will be back for Lantern Year 1. We're gonna fight a actual level 1 white lion.